story that's been going viral lately is the case of 9-year-old Grayson Bruce. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with his story, he was banned. I'm sorry, his backpack was banned because it was My Little Pony. Now, school administrators had blamed the backpack for causing Grayson to be bullied, and his mom complained about the bullying to the school. Now, the school called his backpack a disruption in the classroom. That's right. The backpack was the disruption because it's the thing that stirred up the bullies. Because, you know, we all know that the bullies just can't help themselves, and that wearing this backpack meant that Grayson was asking for it. Now, does that argument sound familiar, guys? Really? Those who bullied Grayson have not been punished, despite being alleged of physical and mental abuse. You know, pushing, shoving, punching, name calling, all of those things which are completely 100% intolerable. And yet they banned the backpack and didn't punish the bullies. In my opinion, this is a case of school administrators blaming the victim for something that was completely harmless. It's a backpack. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on this.
Yeah, I want to
go ahead, Sean. You go.
Yeah, the kid actually got sent home, and I think he's being homeschooled now, from what I saw yesterday. So like the kid had a backpack, and I can understand like some kids like making fun of it. It's a backpack with little ponies on it. But sure. Upon further research, this, like, for some reason, this show is popular with males, right? There's this whole brony community, and like this whole group of people who love this show. But that's besides the point. Like, if a kid's wearing a backpack that's making him get made fun of, you punish the people who make fun of him, not the, like, he's allowed to like whatever he wants to like. He's allowed to wear a backpack and whatever he wants to wear. Like, it doesn't matter that he likes a show with ponies. Like, just because I think that show's kind of silly because it's a pony show doesn't mean that I have the right to bully this kid. Like, you should just, like, you should do this crazy new concept of punishing the aggressors and not the inanimate objects.
Yeah, I mean, like, a couple of things. First of all, if anyone wants to find out about bronies and that whole community, people should go to knowyourmeme.com and just search for brony. It's got basically how the whole kind of phenomenon got started.
And there's also a documentary that's either out or coming out about him.
Yeah, I think there is as well, which is incredible to me. But okay, let's say he wasn't wearing a backpack. Let's say a kid in a wheelchair is getting bullied. They go, oh, look at you, two wheels. Do you stop the kid from bringing his wheelchair to school? Of course you don't. Okay, you can say, oh, he can't choose to be in a wheelchair or whatever. That's a stupid argument. I'm not going to go down that route. It's ridiculous. I mean, I can kind of understand. I mean, my mother is a deputy head of a school, and she deals with all the pastoral sides, all the bullying and stuff. And if this sort of incident occurred in a school, of course you're going to target the bullies, and punish them and reprimand them. I mean, if the kid with the backpack is kind of rubbing it in people's faces, and being a bit more assertive in his like of, My Little Pony, then you take him to one side and say, look, we're going to deal with the bullies. They shouldn't be psychologically bullying you or hitting you or anything, but you don't need to kind of rub your like or your interesting thing in their face. So you can tone it back down a bit. But I mean, reading the story, the kid's just bringing a backpack to school. What the f is wrong with this school? It's just lazy. It's not teaching, but it's just lazy pastoral care. It's easy for them to remove the backpack than it is to remove, the 3 or 4 bullies or however many it is. It's just lazy.
That's the important question that I wanted to ask you guys. Is it laziness? And I agree that it is. I mean, it's so much easier to say, okay, you just can't bring that to school, right? Because that's going to cause a disruption. You're causing a disruption by bringing in something that you like. Like, it would be the same if maybe a girl brought in like a G.I. Joe, lunchbox or something. You gonna ban the lunchbox?
No, I'm gonna take that to dinner.
But it's the same sort of idea. And it's just
I get what you're saying, but I don't really think it cuts. I don't think it evenly cuts both ways. But here's the thing. Here's my issue with the school. Like, if you had like they basically banned this. Like it's the school policy that this backpack is banned. Like if you had a parent or a teacher call a parent and say, look, we're punishing these guys for bullying your son, but the reason they're picking on him is because he has this backpack, right? They're like, if I was his parent, I would probably get him a different backpack, right? If you got a teacher saying, like, trying to be reasonable and say, look, this is what happened, like, I feel bad for your son, but a lot of kids are little assholes. Like, there's a reason nobody likes little kids, and this is one of them. So, like, if they were, like, being reasonable and they made that suggestion and the mom got offended, I would tell the mom to take a hike. But they banned it, and then the kid is so upset that they pushed him out of school, and they didn't punish the people who are picking on him. Like, this is, like, the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. And I think it does come down to laziness and not wanting to get involved, and the simplest answer coming first. And it's not like these guys are educators. So.
And this laziness sort of sets that bad precedent of it's your fault. You're the victim of bullying because of what you did. You're the victim. You did it. You brought this all upon yourself. That's not necessarily, I don't think, was the intent of the banning. They're just like, get it out of here. Get it out of my face. I ain't got time for this. Ain't nobody got time for that. But, it has this unintended side effect, I think, of sort of pushing that blame onto Grayson, onto the little boy, for liking My Little Pony. Look, I don't give a shit if you like My Little Pony. If you're a boy, I don't care. Like, you should be able to like whatever you like, okay? And, not have to get punched for it. Like, if you're not hurting anybody, what's the issue? You shouldn't be punished. It's the people that are hurting you for liking what you like that should be the ones that are punished. And that's my
opinion. One important thing to note is kind of you've got to note kind of the extent to which the bullying is happening. If they're physically beating up, taking his backpack off and throwing it on the ground and stuff. But if they're just teasing him and mocking him for it, then again it does depend on the extent. 9 years old or whatever. But a bit of teasing and stuff when a kid does something a bit weird or out of the norm for their class group, or whatever, that's fine. I mean, I went to private boarding school for 15 years, and there's a lot of let's say psychological warfare and teasing that goes on. And okay, it means that you may stop doing one or two actions that you might have been doing and little kind of traits that you might have had. But I mean, teasing is every part of every school kid's life.
It's sort of par for the course, and I get what you're saying, but this is pushing, shoving, punching, that kind of stuff, and that's just that's intolerable at this.
Yeah, and then when it gets to a certain point, or even if it's a small amount of teasing, but if the kid feels uncomfortable about it, he complains, then it is a duty, it is the role of the members of staff at that school to step. Now, the members of the staff at the school think they have sorted out this problem to an extent you can say they've done it poorly and in possibly the worst possible way, but it's their duty to protect those who feel vulnerable, and in this case, it's a kid with a backpack.
Right.
Yeah, I think like there should be there's a lot of this I make fun of the people who use the word bully like it's some kind of magic word, like when they're doing a serious news story and they're talking about how Vladimir Putin bullied his way into Crimea or something like that. I make fun of that because it's a buzzword and it's really stupid. What they're trying to achieve is really stupid. But there needs to be some kind of way that kids figure out a line, because when I was a kid, I feel like I always knew where the line was. Like, me and my friends would always make fun of each other, right? But that was amongst friends, and occasionally we pick on outside people in the group, but we wouldn't go after them to the extent that they would leave school. Oh, and one more thing. Apparently, the brony community is full of bad people too who do cyberbullying. So we're not on the side of bronies or the side of these bullies. I just want to make that clear.
We're not on the side of people who kick people's ass for liking something that
right.
is normal. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, it should be fine. You should leave them alone.